From the National Newsroom of the Canadian Press, I'm John Kennedy. Public service unions say they will fight the federal government's order to spend more days in office, even if the battle takes time. Federal public servants are back in office for a minimum of 3 days, starting Monday, after Ottawa mandated their return. The new rules will still kick in despite what unions have called a, quote, summer of discontent and an ongoing court battle. The unions say they're already concerned about available office space, as workers have already struggled to find available desks and meeting rooms. Quebecers who want to request medically assisted death before their condition leaves them unable to give proper consent will soon be able to make their arrangements ahead of time. Quebec will be approving such requests starting October 30th. It's moving ahead with a plan despite the fact that the feds have not yet updated the criminal code, saying the issue is widely agreed upon in Quebec. The province adopted a law in June 2023 permitting people with serious and incurable illnesses to have the procedure carried out after their condition had worsened and they were no longer able to give proper consent. An 18-year-old college student is facing a criminal charge after she allegedly made a social media post threatening to carry out a school shooting in Oshawa, Ontario.
Durham Regional Police say they were contacted by the RCMP a couple days ago after the Mounties intercepted what they described as a concerning Snapchat message about someone wanting to initiate a shooting at a school in Oshawa. Investigators say they traced the message back to the Durham College student and arrested her on campus. Police say they later searched her home in Whitby and seized 18 firearms, 5 airsoft guns, and more than 1,000 rounds of ammunition, all of which they say were acquired and stored legally. The woman is facing one charge of uttering threats. Brenda Molina Navidad, The Canadian Press.
The commander of the RCMP in Nova Scotia says the force is sorry for the wide-ranging harms the province's black community suffered during the Mounties' historic use of street checks. Assistant Commissioner Dennis Daly's apology to the African Nova Scotian community was delivered during an event this afternoon in North Preston, a predominantly black community northeast of Halifax. Daly says the RCMP has disrespected the community, and he's sorry for the ways that street checks have harmed people. With just days to go until the ABC News U.S. presidential debate, Vice President Kamala Harris is being offered some advice from the last woman to debate former President Donald Trump.
Hillary Clinton debated former President Trump 3 times in 2016. Her advice for Kamala Harris in the New York Times: be prepared for Trump to not go into specifics and instead just try to tear into her. Clinton advising Harris not to be baited and instead use her prosecutorial background, saying Trump does not know how to respond to substantive direct attacks. Clinton saying there's still enough movement in key states where people can be persuaded they don't want 4 more years of Donald Trump. Dave Packer, ABC News.
This is the Canadian Press. In sports, Canada picked up a boatload of medals on the second last day of competition at the Paralympic Games. The haul included Fredericton's Danielle Doris defending her gold in the women's S7 50-meter backstroke. Canada's haul also included the women's seated volleyball squad securing bronze for the country's first team medal at the Games since 2012 in London. Canada's 126 athlete team is trending towards one of its best years at the recent Paralympic Games with 29 medals, 10 gold, 9 silver, and 10 bronze. The Calgary Stampeders will start Logan Bonner at quarterback when they host the Edmonton Elks. The 26-year-old replaces Jake Mayer, who threw 4 interceptions in Monday's Labor Day home loss to Edmonton. The Stampeders own a 4-7 record this season, while the Elks are 4-8. Damon Webb returned 2 interceptions for touchdowns in the first half as part of the Ottawa Redblacks' 41-27 demolition of the Toronto Argonauts. Ottawa is now 5 points clear of Toronto for second in the CFL's East Division. From the Canadian Press, I'm John Kennedy.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. For more of today's top stories, visit thecanadianpressnews.ca.